Mea culpa, we blew it. All three of your Trifecta stalwarts thought we'd be congratulating President-Elect Mitt Romney today. Oops, yeah. Let's bring on Bill Whittle and Scott Ott and let the soul-searching begin. Gents, you know, everybody has spent the last week explaining what Romney did wrong, but what I want to know is, how did we get it so wrong? I think we owe our viewers at least that much. Scott, what was the moment on election night when you knew something had gone wrong?
Well, they had these little wieners in like this sauce in a crock pot at the victory party that I was at, and something was wrong right there. I just knew things weren't going well. When I took the toothpick and stabbed one of those things and put it in my mouth, everything was off. You know, actually, ironically, I did go to this victory party that was thrown by our local congressman who won his election, and in conjunction with our local state representative who won his election, but everybody else lost. So there was kind of a mixed feeling in the room, and I watched very little TV. But when I knew things were going bad is when people began to drift out of the room. You know, there were like 500 people in the room, and then all of a sudden you look around, you're like, wait a minute, there's only like 150 people here. And by the way, this is the Vote Obama button that I removed. I literally got from a Democrat at the polls while I was handing out Romney literature. And in my humiliation, this is like a hair shirt that I've put on today.
Smart boy.
There you go. We'll get to the why in just a sec. Bill, how about you? When did you get that sick feeling in the pit of your stomach? And what was it that told you that you had gotten wrong?
I got it real early, and I was in we actually rented a bar, and we had about 200-300 conservatives in there, and we just like a sports bar with these giant screens, so we're watching 5 different results coming in, and as soon as the results started coming in, I remember thinking, man, this is closer than I thought it was going to be. We should be up by more in Florida, and then I'm thinking, well, he's got an early vote advantage, and when you start telling yourself kind of, well, this is all right, but when I really knew it was going bad was when they were calling things that were supposed to be close early. Like, you know, I didn't think we were going to win Pennsylvania, but I thought we were going to be close. So when they called Pennsylvania with 5% of the vote in, I thought, oh, dear. So the margins were never there. The things that we were supposed to have won confidently were close. The things that we thought we might be close in were blowouts. And you could tell real early that things were going south. Now, there were a lot of conservatives in the bar who were utterly amazed when I was telling them this. They said, oh, no, everything's going to work out. And as the night went on, and they're calling all these other states, they didn't even call them. Like I said, 5% of the vote in. There's Pennsylvania gone. There's Wisconsin gone. There's all these kind of dream things gone. And I had to explain to them, it's like every single one of these things that disappears means that our pathway gets narrower and narrower and narrower, and then we're now down to the only pathway, and then I forget what it was, New Hampshire or Iowa or something, right? And it's like, well, doors closed.
Yeah, bye-bye. Now, Scott, you've run 2 campaigns for yourself. One was a winner, one was not. You know firsthand the difference. What made you think Romney had a winning campaign going into last Tuesday?
Well, he just seemed to be doing everything right. I mean, the guy from the beginning, even from early on when he first became a candidate, he was raising money hand over fist, and he was able to successfully do that through most of the rest of his campaign. He really improved in honing his message. He obviously improved from the primaries to the general election and how he performed in the debates. But frankly, I've got to tell you, I think I live in another world from just a little bit more than half of the rest of the country. I live in a bubble. I frankly can't make any sense of it. It seems so obvious to me, and I'll tell you what, nothing is scarier in the political world, and frankly, when you think about the future of our country, as to think that all that you once held dear and true and believed that everybody would cleave to has turned out to be shifting sands, and I don't know what people think anymore. I've got a lot of learning to do between now and the next time around.
Well, we're going to spend the next couple of years doing just that together. All right, Bill, looking forward, how do you avoid making the same mistake? What do you change in your habits, your outlook to get a better outcome next time?
Well, speaking personally, I was a victim of selection bias. I was looking at Drudge. I didn't want to go to Real Clear Politics, and looking back on it, I didn't want to go to Real Clear Politics because every time I went to Drudge, he'd show Romney 47, Obama 45, and I'm seeing these poll results, and I'm thinking, man, this is golden. And these were not trivial polls. This is Gallup and Rasmussen, right? But he was showing the outliers, and then you'd hear news of like, hey, man, we're up 5 in Pennsylvania. I thought, oh, 5 in Pennsylvania, because I thought our people were going to turn out, and I thought this was an indication of what was going to happen, and our people didn't turn out. It's just that simple. You know, of all the heartbreaks in this election, the thing I simply can't process is, if not fewer votes than McCain, then damn near fewer, than that. But looking forward, I've been doing a lot of really outside-the-box thinking, Steve, and looking forward, I realize it's a mistake for us to be playing politics. When we play politics, we lose. If we go into 2016 talking about a narrow path to victory or watching poll numbers, then we're in trouble and we're probably going to lose. We have to go into this thing with such a cultural advantage. We have to get into this fight so severely that for the year prior to the election, guys like you and me can just kick back and drink vodka and margaritas because the win that is coming in November is a foregone conclusion. That's the kind of, you know, thing we need to be looking at. That kind of Bill Clinton, Bob Dole 96 thing where it's like, well, we have to have an election because it's in the Constitution, but honestly, there's no question what's going to happen.
Bob Dole says yes. All right, folks, there are 59,934,814 reasons why I got this thing wrong, and I've been calling elections right since 1988, never missing more than 3 states. Anyway, that number was John McCain's vote total in 2008, and I assumed that was the floor of Romney's support because, well, who could vote for the worst GOP candidate since Wendell Willkie and then not vote for Romney? But what I underestimated was the Chicago camp's ability, not their willingness, but their ability to use the politics of personal destruction to so poison the well, to so suppress voter turnout that those 59 million some odd would instead be Romney's ceiling. That on election night, Romney would turn to the independent voters he'd courted so carefully, only to find they weren't there. Now, Mitt Romney won't get a second chance to make that mistake, and I hope I won't either. For PJTV, I'm your very regretful Steve Green.